Hi, this is Diane Sussman from BodyMindBalance.net, and I'm on day 3 of working with my Chopin Etude in E major and working with the principles of the Alexander technique. So today I would like to talk a little bit more about body use and actual habits. I noticed that the last time I did this, on my second day video, I was actually pressing a little bit forward. I was hinging a little bit forward, which created some tension in the back of my neck, and I wasn't able to be sitting at the piano quite as comfortably as I would like to do. And what I noticed actually was my piano bench was a little bit low, so I've raised the piano bench. I have an ability to raise my bench. If you don't have that ability, you can always put a pillow underneath your seat, so that will raise you higher. But just a caveat to that, you're going to be orienting yourself in a slightly different relationship to the piano then, so that will take some getting used to. You'll be reading the music a little bit differently, and your where you are in relationship to the keyboard, you'll be a little bit higher. So I'm in the process of adjusting to that. The other thing that I noticed in the video was that because this piece is really challenging for me, I was actually pulling into a tension pattern at my wrist. And this is not what we want. We actually want to have a relative freedom and neutrality at the wrist, like a give in the wrist. If you were to just bring your arms down at your side and then move your bend at your elbow, there's a little cup, that shallow cup in the hand, if the hands were facing upward. And then as you rotate those hands, that same gentle cup should be there. It's a widening between the knuckles and a little bit of an arc underneath the palm. But we don't want to tense into the wrist. That actually breaks the energy. So today I want to practice a really challenging number of measures in this piece, but to try to keep in mind that ease and the freedom. So the fingers are really dropping down from the knuckle, and I'm not pressing up into that joint. The other thing is to be able to maintain the poise of my head. Remember that our heads are delicately and kind of instably balancing all of the time at the top of the neck, which is a place almost to the level of the ears, so a little bit lower in the ears. And then the center of gravity is forward and up from that. So this beautiful poise that we are going for in our head balance is not a tightened and stable position. That becomes even more challenging when we're reading music or when we're doing something out in front of us. Mr. Alexander called that the tendency to gain our end, or to end a gain, instead of being able to maintain that relative poise in every moment. So that's one of the real fun challenges I find to the Alexander technique in general. Is we're always in the world. We don't want to not be in the world, and we are often doing our favorite activities. For me, it's playing the piano. So that creates an inherent challenge that we want to be able to work through. So once again, today I want to be on my sitting bones. I want to let that weight distribute through my body so that I don't pull forward. And I want to particularly notice if I go into straining or tightening into this wrist when I play this piece. So good piano pedagogy is that we want to play the right hand, then the left hand, and then put them together. So that's what I'm going to do today, and I'm going to do it fairly slowly because this is a really challenging piece. There's a lot of sixths in these pieces and a lot in this part and a lot of accidentals. fingers, I'm just continuing to soften in the joint so that I don't go into that tightening, straining pattern. Decided to accelerate it just a little. This is actually played very quickly in real time. So there I go into my strain pattern, and again I want to just keep softening so that the fingers flow. One more time. Thinking about my free neck. And then the same thing with the left hand. That's very challenging. All right, so now I'm going to try to put them together, and I'm going to do it a little bit slower because it's more difficult. Slower because I'm really having some difficulty here. I was able to free my neck, and that makes me feel kind of excited because, you know, breathing, continuing to breathe through difficult passage while you're trying to also maintain that equipoise and balance, and just let the whole system breathe, the ribs move on the inhale and release on the exhale while you're maintaining your length and your stature while doing this challenging activity. Now it's going to help when I keep practicing and really learning the notes and the music more, and that's just a matter of, you know, putting in the time. But I wanted to share with you a little bit my process in being able to finally put these more difficult passages together. All right, this is Diane Sussman, once again, bodymindbalance.net, and thank you for participating. Take care.